Welcome, everybody. Welcome back. Very excited to be here. Happy Friday. Good to see you guys. Thank you very much for being here. Appreciate it. Appreciate you guys. Oh, what a day it's been. What a week it's been. A shout out to everybody that's here in chat. This is the X1 The Gamer weekly stream. Every single Friday, we're doing this right now. We will eventually get this to daily, is my goal. The question is when. So probably this summer we'll be able to start going daily. That is my end goal here, though. What do we do on this channel? What are we doing to do during the live stream? Well, we do go over some of the news from the week. We did videos. We've done videos. And we go over those videos that we've done. We look at some polls. We look at some of the news stories that are out. We talk about it. And we just hang out. We hang out together. If you like what I'm doing here, again, I'm X1 The Gamer. You can hit that membership button. You can hit the join button down below. I believe Fitzy right now in chat. Fitzy has the sweet, sweet membership badge that is there. You could see it. He's got the long-term one. That long-term one is crushing it. But welcome, everybody. How is everybody doing? Shout out to Matt Ballswell. Dark Knight is in the house. Soul Finder, Fitzy. Everybody's here. Thank you very much for being here. Appreciate you guys. Dark Knight's on the East Coast looking at colleges. That's fun. That's fun. Soul Finder says BYU is always a good choice. That's right. Low tuition here in Utah, not too far from Arizona, brother. And you'd get snow. You get to come up and visit for ski trips and the like. Would be an absolute blast for sure. Welcome, though, everybody, to the stream. It's been a big week. David's got a real nice camera and a good-looking mug, says Matt Boswell. You're too kind, my friend. You're too kind. And Fitzy dropping the David facials there. Welcome, though. I thought we would start with the news story that we discussed a little bit yesterday for those of you that saw it. And that is the story. Don't I have one of these? Hold on. I have a new setup here. This is the one I was looking for. Look, isn't that a much better setup? Ugh, much better setup here. Let me just make sure that my mic is center of screen. But this is the story. We talked about this story. Look at all the ads up here. I have an ad blocker on, but I have to turn it off for this or else like it gets choppy when I share it. So, and look at all the ads that pop up. You don't realize how many ads are on a website when you have an ad blocker on. It's crazy. Crazy. Reactor League is here in the house. What's up, Reactor League? Thank you. I thought we would start with this news story today, though. And this is one that we discussed a little bit yesterday on the X1 Bros podcast. And I just think it's fascinating. Xbox and PlayStation's most played games in 2023 were averaging 7 years old. I want to review this news story. And then I wrote down some questions that I thought we could go over as to why this is happening. Why do you think this is the reality? Because we live in a world where it seems like you've got to have the next exclusive. You got to have the brand new game. You've got to be all over it or you're not. When in reality, most gamers are playing games that are 7 years old. And if you're on PC, you're playing games that are 9 years old. That's the average lifespan or the average games that people are playing out there. Let me see if we need to make this bigger. What is this at 125? There we go. 150 seems to be about right for that screen. And so this is over at Pure Xbox, guys. Go check them out. Xbox and PlayStation's most played games in 2023 were averaging 7 years old. So before we get jumped into the news story here, I would love to know from you guys, why do you think that is? Why do you think the average game is 7 years old that gamers are playing on PlayStation and Xbox? And what is interesting is on Xbox, it's actually less at 7.2. PlayStation is 7.4. PC, it's almost 9. So last year was an incredible time for new releases on Xbox, along with various other platforms. But according to a new report by Newzoo, which lists the top 10 games in 2023, so this is last year that we're looking at, based on their monthly active users in terms of Xbox, the average age of the top 10 games was 7.2 years old, while PlayStation, it was actually 7.4. And here's a look at the top 10 games. So we have got Fortnite. Fortnite makes sense. Absolutely. It's a powerhouse. All the kids are playing it. All the adults are playing it. They've absolutely been crushing it since they've come out, since they've dropped. No doubt. We've got Call of Duty. Again, Call of Duty and Warzone, another powerhouse. What do these both two have in common? They're live service games. Makes sense. We've got Grand Theft Auto 5. Now, Grand Theft Auto is always, since it dropped, I mean, it's just a cash cow for Rockstar. Since it dropped and since Grand Theft Auto Online has been there, or is it Grand Theft Auto Online? Yes, Grand Theft Auto Online. I want to say Grand Theft Online, but it's not. It's Grand Theft Auto Online. And since that's been out, I mean, it's month over month in the top 5, the top 10 games sold. But again, a live game, a live service game. Then we've got Minecraft, always have updates. You've got building, you've got the kids. I mean, that game's also just massive. You've got Roblox, another game for the kids here. Also, technically a live service game. So right now, the common denominator between the top 5 is multiplayer in all of them, and basically constant updates, live service, constant updates, constant new content dropping for the multiplayer aspect of those games. We've then got Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege. That one surprises me. That game is good. That game is shockingly good. You forget how good that game is until you jump into it, but that game is good. We've then got Rocket League after that, again, multiplayer. Starfield, Apex Legends, and FIFA. Starfield at number 8 for Xbox is the only single player game in there. It probably brings up actually it's the reason that Xbox is lower, 7.2 years compared to 7.4, is probably because of Starfield. Because I bet you on PlayStation, there's no game from this year on PlayStation. I would be willing to bet. Man, do you think so? I don't know. I don't have that list in front of me. Regardless, Starfield, the fact that it's on this list probably brings up that time, brings up that 7.2 years old for Xbox gamers. Now, the question here is why? Why is this happening? What's going on here? And I think first of all, multiplayer games, live service games, constant, battle royale type games, Fortnite. There's no doubt in my mind as to why Fortnite and Warzone are 1 and 2 there. Makes complete sense. They're a lot of fun. They absolutely dominate. But I would love to know what you guys think. Why? Why is that the case? I did write down a question here. What does the preference for older games over new releases say about the current state of game development and marketing? And to me, it says that people have nostalgia. First of all, I think there's emotional connection to some of the older games out there. There's nostalgia for them. For instance, Apex. Oh, you can always jump in, and it feels so good to be back in Apex, for instance. There's just value in gameplays in this game style. All of these are multiplayer games, so they're games that you replay over and over and over again with your friends, doing, going for a similar goal, trying to grind for more loot, trying to get a top 10 leaderboard, for instance. And so I think there's definitely a style here. Reactor League says the older games have so much invested, especially live service games. Yeah, I mean, you spend a lot of time in those games. You're still playing those games. You can't leave them as a result of that time. Especially, I mean, if your social group is playing those games and is around those games, no reason that you shouldn't go back to them. Matt Boswell brings up a good point. He says they're free to play as well. That also is a good point. A lot of them are. So which one? So Fortnite, Warzone, Grand Theft Auto's not, but powerhouse. Minecraft's not, but powerhouse. Roblox is, except for you pay in app for stuff. So yeah, a lot of those are free to play. That's a great point, Matt. I think that leads to like the investment there. Fitzy says, I always thought Siege was dead on arrival. Wasn't there a ton of issues and hate when it came out? I never played it. Could have sworn it was a flop. I don't remember it. I don't remember there being that much hate, but that was a while ago. The thing is, that game's just a ton of fun. That's like this high intensity. If you die, you die. You're out for the round. You've got special, you're within with 4 other players. You've got a special ability that contributes to your team. If you die, your team no longer has access to that ability. It's intense. It makes for some intense. I love the leaning around corners. When you watch people that play that game that are really good, lean around corners. Oh, that game's a lot of fun. I don't remember. I don't remember if there was controversy around it. I don't remember if when it launched it was terrible or anything like that. I just remember that when I played it, I had a ton of fun. William Lanza says you took the words right out of my mouth. Nostalgia. Yeah, I think nostalgia goes hand in hand with what Reactor League said. A lot of time invested there. So when you have a lot of time invested, you also have a lot of nostalgia for the time that you invested. Oh, guys, remember when we got together and we did this? Oh, that was hilarious. That was hilarious. I do have to say, what's up, my main man, Jordan the Man. He's here in the house. What's up, Jordan the Man? Thank you very much for being here. Thank you for joining. Matt Boswell says Siege was buggy and stuff at launch, but it's one of those games where the devs just stuck with it and fixed issues and brought it back. There's so many games. I mean, Sea of Thieves. Look at Sea of Thieves dropping on PlayStation. Sea of Thieves having a ton of success on Xbox. One of the top pre-ordered games over on PlayStation. And look at where it's come. When it dropped, it was people made fun of it. Like, what do? You want to run around here? This is stupid. They didn't get what they were trying to do. And then they stuck, and it didn't drop buggy. It wasn't buggy. It was just kind of this different concept. Nobody had really ever done something where it literally was a sandbox, and then people discovered it, and streamers discovered it, and role playing started to take over there, and that game just took off and continually supported at addition upon addition there. So there's a lot of games. We have the technology now that games that drop games when they drop compared to, let's say, 3 years later, could be wildly different. Wildly different. I'm taking some water here. Soulfinder says, I'm surprised Destiny 2 is not on there. I don't think Destiny 2 is... I think Destiny 2 is more niche than we think. Like, I don't think it has the audience of like a Warzone or a Fortnite to make it in the top 10. I'm sure at times Destiny is in the top 10. Like when they drop a new expansion, maybe they jump up into the top 10 temporarily, but I don't think they have the audience, the large audience that, I mean, these are next level. I mean, FIFA, it's a worldwide game. I mean, worldwide brand. Same with Minecraft, for instance, or Fortnite. So I think there are levels to this, but yeah, I agree with that. I was surprised that Destiny 2 wasn't on there as well, but I think that's why. I think it's just not reached that next level of gamers yet, for sure. Soulfinder says this feels like the Mixer overtime shows that lasted 2 more hours after the podcast. That's exactly good. I'm glad. That's how this should feel. I do need to shout out Minnow15, who's here in the house. What's up, Minnow15? Thank you very much for being here. For anyone that's new to the live stream here, maybe you've seen my videos around. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you hit the like button and join us here. I drop almost daily videos on this channel, just going over the news, talking about all things Xbox. Try to make it feel just like it's a live stream, only it's not. It's a video. And then every Friday we jump on together and we just hang out and we talk games. I just thought this news story was wildly interesting. I did write down 2 more questions here. How do services like Xbox Game Pass and PlayStation Now influence the longevity of game popularity? I think that plays a lot into this as well. It's kind of this perfect storm, if you think about it, where we had games like Battle Royales come on, live services really took off to like 2019, 2020. And then we had services like Game Pass come along. And I think Game Pass opens up a lot because some of these games that aren't free, like Grand Theft Auto could just jump onto Game Pass and has been on Game Pass before. And then you jump in and play and you get on with your friends and you introduces it to you for the first time, or maybe it reintroduces it to you. You played it a while ago and you haven't been in a while and now you're back playing it. So I think it increases. Game Pass, I think, is a part of the reason of this, and so is PlayStation Now over on PlayStation. I think accessibility to these games has never been easier. Rejuvenation of interest, like I talked about, maybe Grand Theft Auto jumps back on Game Pass, and you're like, oh, let's go rob a bank with my friends. I forgot how cool this could be. I think them being there too, or perks, even if it's just a perk from Game Pass, for instance, I think it grows its community. And then when your friends are playing it, you're playing it. So that happens as well. My last question that I wrote down here is, in an era where graphics and game mechanics are more advanced than ever, why do gamers continue to return to old titles? I think that's similar to the first question that we dropped here. We can't forget about modding too. Modding, I think, is the next thing that's coming big on consoles as well. Starfield is one of those games. Bethesda is big into modding. We see what they've done with Skyrim and how Skyrim has just never stopped. I think that's only going to increase. I think that's not going to be restricted 2 PCs. Oh my goodness. This happens sometimes. Don't go anywhere, guys. I'm still here. I'm green. I'm frozen on the camera. Here, let me just switch over. We're actually switching cameras. I'm actually switching cameras because of this. There we go. Yeah, I'm actually switching cameras here in the next, because this happens. It's the cam link. So I use a MacBook Pro. Let me focus us. Hey, I'm back. I use a MacBook Pro, and when that cam link gets hot, that happens. It freezes. It cuts out on me sometimes. So I did spicy. Mr. McSpicy got an Elgato an Elgato Pro face cam. Blown away by how it looks. Now, the only problem is it doesn't handle my blue backdrop very well. So I will have to probably switch to like a green backdrop. But since it's a webcam, technically, it doesn't have some of the issues that you have with the DSLR. Now, DSLR looks fabulous. I mean, look at how good a DSLR looks here on stream. It looks fabulous. But for slightly less good look, just slightly, the Elgato Webcam Pro, it's USB-C in. So you just don't have to deal with dongles. You don't have to deal with external settings that you do with the DSLR. I mean, you saw that green freeze. When that happens when you record videos, so I'll be like in the middle of a sentence and it happens, you're like, ah, and it's so frustrating. so frustrating. We were talking about graphics and older titles, and I was talking about modding. I lost my train of thought there. I think modding is going to be the next thing to drop that really takes off in a big way on consoles. So Fitzy says your biggest issue is you have a crapple product. Get rid of that. Get a real PC. So I do have my gaming PC over here to my left. But the thing with a MacBook is it is a productivity powerhouse. Like, yes, it can't play games, but even then, the amount of equipment you have to get to use a DSLR effectively and consistently, even on a PC, is a lot. I do have the Elgato cards built into that. In fact, that might not be a bad idea. Maybe I just put my DSLR over there on my gaming PC with that. But the Elgato Facecam, it's just, I think it's a better long-term solution for me. I'm really enjoying it. So I am. I did do some poll questions this week, guys. Should we go over some poll questions and some, if you haven't yet, come vote on this. Here it is. How do you think Xbox Game Pass affects indie game developers? Now, where does this question come from? There was news stories that dropped earlier in the week and late last week, earlier this week, of some indie game developers specifically talking about the Epic Game Store, saying, the deals aren't what they used to be to get on Epic Game Store. The deals aren't what they used to be to get on Game Pass. And people tried to take that and use it against Xbox and say, look, Game Pass is no longer working, when that's not what they were saying at all. And they came back and clarified and said, no, it's just the sign of, the economy. I was referring to deals in general. I actually was referring specifically to Epic Game Store, but Game Pass is there as well. The deals aren't flowing like they once did, at least, or the amounts aren't as big or as high. And I can say, working in what is a good way in the industry, like where we're right next to it. What is the word I'm looking for? I cannot think of it. Anyways, investment, it really is a lot harder to come by. I mean, it's a sign of the economy that we're in. We're seeing in the gaming industry, all the layoffs, for instance. So indie game developers, they're not wrong. That's a fact. And it's not that Game Pass is dying at all. Game Pass is still thriving. All that comment was meant to say was that adjacent, Matt Boswell, my man, adjacent, everybody. That's the word I was looking for. I have no caffeine today. I'm off caffeine, everybody. I had become addicted to 5-hour energy. And let me tell you, when you're addicted to 5-hour energy, you are just constantly on anxiety. You're like always ramped up to 11. I was taking 2 a day, sometimes 3 a day. And so finally, a few weeks ago, I said, no more triple scoop pre-workouts, nothing. So I'm on 0 caffeine. I feel it a little bit, but also, you want to know what I've noticed? The biggest thing, guys, I am getting better sleep than I've ever gotten. I feel much more level than I've ever felt. With like pre-workout drinks and 5-hour energies, I was always up and down and up and down and up and down. And I didn't like it. I didn't like the way I felt. So been off it for a little while now. And what I do take creatine. I'm taking creatine for, I lift and work out. And also that helps my brain, I feel like. So that's good. But yeah, no, off of it. I'm still going through the withdrawals a little bit, but I'm excited to be off it. Let's say hi here to some people. Acute Perspective is in the house. What's up, Acute Perspective? Thank you very much for stopping by, my man. Good to see Ultimate Sharps Gaming is here. What's up, Ultimate Sharps? How are you guys? Fantastic. Thank you for stopping by. Appreciate it. So in the video, in fact, you can't really see this poll. Let me increase this. Ooh, we need to increase this big time. There we go. So earlier in the week, did a video talking about the indie game devs saying, the deals aren't there like they used to be. And I really focused in that video on the point that Phil Spencer has made in the past, and even other big game developers and indie game developers have made, and that Game Pass helps. Game Pass helps you. Maybe you don't need as much money. Maybe you don't need as much investment if you're on Game Pass, because think of the obvious thing. There's a built-in audience there. So you don't need an indie game company doesn't need marketing, big marketing budgets. And that's the reality is, no, if you make a game and you just put it on Steam, nobody's going to find your game. You got to go market it, and marketing costs money. You got to go let the world know, hey, my game is here. Here's what it's about. Here's why you should play it. Here's why it's fun. Come check it out. That costs a lot of money. That costs investment. That takes investment. I think Game Pass solves for a lot of those. I think Game Pass really helps not just big guys. I think it helps the little indie developers too, because of something like marketing, for instance, where there's a built-in audience. Hey, you can get exposed to that built-in audience, and then word of mouth can take off for you, so that when you either leave Game Pass or maybe you drop a DLC, et cetera, you've got a baseline foundational audience that you've been exposed to there. So I dropped this poll. It says, how do you think Game Pass affects indie game developers? 78% of you said increases visibility and audience reach. I agree. With 17% is number 2. Coming in saying it's complicated, benefits for some but not all. That I think it's nuanced for sure. I agree that for the most part, overall, it's increases visibility, it increases audience reach. I think it's positive. I'm sure there are some indie developers that's not the case for, but I do think overall it is positive. Absolutely 100%. Happy Mayo is here in the house. Happy Mayo. So good to see you, brother. Happy Friday. It's Friday. I almost said Thursday. This week has flown by. So let's read some comments here. Big House says, from what I understand, it's guaranteed money profit. Who knows? The gamble versus the gamble of putting it on an oversaturated, non-curated storefront with minimal visibility, hoping for sales. Big House, I think you're right. It is... how do you get to the front page? So for instance, let's just take something that we can all relate to, where maybe we're not making games and we're not trying to publish them. That's kind of foreign to a lot of people, but streaming is not. Let's look at streaming on Twitch. Let's pretend we're streaming Fortnite. Have you ever browsed Fortnite? Just go to the category Fortnite and scroll down. You can scroll down for forever. There are thousands of people streaming to one person. There are thousands of people streaming to 0 people. The key there, if you could get to the top, that's who people are going to check out. Like, oh, I want to check out this game. Insert X game. Let's just say Fortnite. I want to check out Fortnite. What's new in Fortnite? You click on it. There's one row. If you're not in that top row, you're not getting clicked on. It's the same with games. If you publish your game on Steam and it's not curated, how do you get to the top of Steam? How as an independent game developer, how do you get your game out in front of people? I think it's really difficult, and I think Game Pass solves for that. Or at least if it doesn't solve for it, it at least helps it, because there's a built-in audience there for sure. What do you guys think? Agree? Disagree with that? Big House, that's a good comment though. Great comment. Yeah, overall, 78% positive. I think that's correct. People view Game Pass increases visibility and audience reach. Absolutely. Happy Mayo says, I never knew Fortnite is now like Roblox. It's crazy. Have you guys jumped into Fortnite lately? I didn't know either. I know last year at GDC, Fortnite was showing off, hey, come develop on Fortnite with us. And I didn't jump back in. I didn't see it. But when you jump in there now, there is tons of different types of games to play, tons of style of games to play. They're even dropping. Have you guys seen? And I don't know if it's dropped yet. Someone can tell me. I've not jumped into Fortnite, but I saw the like Rock Band Rockstar game that they're dropping with Fortnite. So cool. So Harmonix is doing it. Fortnite's going to take over the world soon. We're gonna have all of our games inside of Fortnite, but it's smart. I mean, Roblox is doing it. Roblox is doing it. Why not Fortnite? And Fortnite takes advantage of a little bit more polished, a little bit older audience, I think. Excuse me. Welcome everybody to today's stream. The realist says they can't just keep giving money away. Of course they're drying. We're talking about investors. Yeah, I mean, I think the state of the economy is such. I mean, we've seen for instance, in the gaming industry, we've seen all the massive layoffs. I think it's just hard times for everybody. And whenever that happens, it's going to be harder and harder to get in investments for sure, especially if you are an indie game developer, no doubt. William Lanza says, back in the days, Wolfenstein sent free demos to advertise their games. Yeah, remember that? Or remember picking up Xbox? What was the Xbox one? Xbox had one, or the PlayStation one, and they would always come with a disc and they had demos on them, and you were always so excited. You bought the magazine, not for the magazine. You bought the magazine for the disc and for the demos, and you could put it in. You're like, oh, check this game out. And it was always so exciting. I kind of miss that. Right? That was a ton of fun. Alderman Sharp says, yeah, Fortnite's going to be a big one. I mean, Fortnite's already huge, no doubt. But I think where you go from here, when you jump into this platform, it's basically this idea of the metaverse, for instance. That's the idea of the metaverse, where you jump into one spot and you've got all different types of things to play, all different types of things to do, and they all interconnect with each other. That's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. CDR Tuvok is here and says, yes, the magazines, dude. I miss magazines. Actually, did you see Game Informer is back, by the way? Game Informer is back doing direct subscriptions. I thought about subscribing. Game Informer was always good. Even a few years ago when you could subscribe. It's probably been like 5 years for me. And I had my GameStop membership, and it came with Game Informer. Always went through it, always looked forward to it. I don't find Game Informer. I can't say this about every media site. In fact, I can't say it about most media sites, but Game Informer always seemed very level-headed, always seemed very focused. Oh, there's my camera again. It always seemed very focused on games and gaming. And I would get it again. I would absolutely get it again. Electronic Gaming Monthly was good as well, says Darv. Yeah. Yep, 100%. So sorry, guys, I'm having camera issues today. Let me just focus this back. I'm actually moving over. I got an Elgato Pro that I'm using at the moment. There we are. And so whenever my cam link heats up, and let me know if anybody has solutions to this. I'd be very curious. Whenever my cam link heats up, it does that. It just freezes. So I got to just turn it off, turn it on again. So we're very limited in time. We're limited to as long as we can go without it heating up. But I did get, let me actually do this. Let's go full screen here. Let me do this. So I was testing it out before the show, and I just didn't have time to set it up because it arrived today. But here it is. Look at this bad boy. It comes with, it's a fan, a built-in fan. It's the most expensive web camera out there. It does color grading really well. I'm really excited to put this up and get it in. And it's USB-C directly in, so we don't have those issues. It looks almost as good as this. It's maybe 5% less. But you want to know what it doesn't do? It doesn't freeze. And also, this is a portability factor to it. Like if I'm on the road, which I do travel for my job, I could take this on the road with me and we're good to go. Could absolutely do this. So I'm very much looking forward to it. Happy Mayo says Game Informer had a pretty level playing field. Yeah, I agree. I don't think that they were super biased. I found them to be very focused on gaming and games and their reviews. I like their reviews. So it was cool. Matt Boswell said, I loved Andy McNamara when he was hosting their podcast. Him and Gerstmann were always interesting because of their vast knowledge of the industry. I never listened to their podcast actually, but do they still run it? Do they have a podcast still, or is that gone? Solution: bowl of ice under it with a fan. It's true. It's true. Yeah, the Camlink has come a long way. The Camlink works really well. Don't get me wrong. I use Camlink for all my videos that you watch. Utilize the Camlink. It's just when you start streaming longer. So we've been going for almost 40 minutes now. When you start streaming longer, that's when it heats up there. Do you guys want to see what I got this week? Let me show you. And why I'm excited for mobile. So who's excited for mobile gaming? Anybody in chat? Anybody really looking forward and hope that and can't wait for Xbox to give us a mobile device? Look at this. This is it feels good too. Like, this is the PlayStation Portable. And I played a lot of it last night. Got to try it out. It streams straight from your PlayStation 5. There was some lag. I played at my cousin's house. So I'm going through two networks, and it's not standalone. It's just streaming directly, excuse me, from the PlayStation 5. And I hear when it first dropped, it wasn't that great. But now I hear there's been a lot of firmware updates. Now it's fabulous. From my house, from my room, I'm getting almost zero lag. Input lag as you're playing. Very smooth graphics, very smooth experience overall. And it's great. I can sit on my couch. I can lay in bed, play different games. I would love for Xbox to do something like that. What do you guys think? Game Informer still has their podcast, but Annie left and workers at EA, as far as I know, and haven't really listened to Game Informer in a while. Oh, interesting. I didn't know that. Yeah, but they did drop their subscription service again. So you could subscribe to their magazine. It'll get shipped to you each and every single month. It looks like your PS5 controller took some of those little blue pills, says Happy Mayo. It absolutely does. And that is, I think, actually the way they designed. So the screen is really nice. Should I turn on the screen here? Let me see. Let's see if we can just turn it on and see if it comes across on the camera correctly. 1 second. And we can go through this. So the screen is really nice. And I think it's smart. It's the controller just divided in half, just split in half. So you can see, there it is. If I could get the light out of the way. Let's see. How do we focus? There it is. There it is on my forehead. This. And then you see, you can see it's up. So you tap it and then it loads up here. And this is it now. I have to put it up my head because that's where it's focused. This is it trying now to focus on, or not to focus. It's logging onto or connecting with the PS5. And so it will take, 20 seconds or so to connect. It says ready to play now. So once it says ready to play, here it is. Oh, actually there we go. And it goes on and boom. And there is actually, let's see, can we do this backwards? Let's do this backwards. And there is, ladies and gentlemen, the dashboard. Oh, my light is in the way. The reflection. And it's pretty, there we go. And it's pretty good. But really smooth. This doesn't do it justice. I should get another. I have two web cameras now. I should get one set up for like handhelds here, and we could take a look at stuff. But yeah, very, very smooth, very impressed. I would love to get one of these from Xbox. X1, now you're a pony, Darf. I am not. I am definitely not. I got sent that as a gift. I'm very grateful for it. But it streams from your PS5, right? Says Fitzy. It does. So you have to have both to use it. It's not your own system. No, you have to have both to use it. It's definitely not your own system. So, but here's the thing. For me, I just want the option to be able to play Halo on my couch. The option. And I know, like, people say you can do it with your phone. This device is better than that. It really is. So yeah, there you go. Anyways, guys, that's us for today's show. Quick, sweet. I love checking in with you guys. Love hanging out and talking. Next week, we'll have our new camera, so we won't be freezing. That throws us off. And we'll also be set up where we can take a look at some games, take a look at some trailers and stuff like that. Love hanging out with you guys. Appreciate it. If you haven't yet, Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Again, like I said, we drop videos almost every single day here on this channel. I appreciate it. Appreciate all of the support and appreciate hanging out, just talking to you guys, getting to know you better and having fun. It's a great way to end the week. Eventually, my goal over the summer, I should be able to do it over the to start doing daily streams where we just sit, hang out, talk about the news of the day. Let me know ideas too, if you guys have any ideas of what you'd like to see from these shows, what you find entertaining. Maybe we react to stuff together. I don't know, but I'm game. It's all about just hanging out with you guys. So let me know. This is a new thing. One-on-one with X1, says Happy Mayo. Yeah. So this is not the X1 Bros channel. This is actually my own channel, X1 the Gamer. So if you're not subscribed to it, make sure you hit that notification bell as well. The notification bell jumps up and will let you know, and hit the all. And we'll go from there. So thank you guys. Have a great weekend. Enjoy yourselves, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye, everybody. Bye-bye. Thank you guys. Thank you for hanging out. Appreciate it.